Yo, what's good YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and importantly, episode 5 of the NIF NFL Imperialism franchise. I gotta hurry up and get this series over with. I'm already like 3 weeks behind, so let's go ahead and jump up into a recap of the prior episode. Previously on the Imperialism franchise. But we're gonna start out pretty strong. This is Jamar chasing the first down and the bully. To Tyreek Hill, somehow he brings us in with one hand, and he gets both feet in bounds. Highlight of the series so far. Now fourth quarter, 3 minutes left. I'm going down the field, and once again, these animations are really screwing me, but I also can't say much because I also just suck at this game. Tyreek Hill threw up the peace sign, and he is joining forces with the Dynasty Panthers. Jerry Rice has joined the series, and he is a 99 overall receiver for the Bay. I beg you, please point down and to the right. I think that has it, which means for the first time of this series, us, the Pittsburgh Steelers, are claiming a power-up. This game was basically just a blowout. It's kind of boring. Probably the shortest game you've seen so far, but we ended up beating the Ravens 34-13, which is not good for them because they're on the verge of elimination now. Justin Tucker will now be kicking for the Steelers, which will force them to delete their best player, that being Aaron Donald. But we ended up winning 37-34, probably one of our best games, which leaves the 3 eliminated teams to be the Raiders, the Ravens, and the Browns. The top 20 teams, this is what we're down to, and we had 3 teams eliminated last episode, which will give us 3 new power-ups placed on the white empty spots in the map, and we'll be narrowing it down to 17 teams by the end of this episode. So let's begin with our power-ups and where they're going to be placed. We'll start with Cleveland's territory, which will get the Resurrection power-up, and then next we're going to have Vegas's land. We'll be receiving the maxed out power-up, and this leaves Washington's territory, which is actually touching borders with us, so there's a high chance we can get this power-up. Looks like it's going to be the redeployed power-up. Oh, this could be huge. All 3 green power-ups are placed on the map. Let's get a recap on what they do. This one's pretty obvious. You just get a maxed out player at 99 overall. Resurrection power-up gives you the ability to bring a player back from the dead, basically meaning he's from a team that was previously eliminated or a player that was hit by the landmine. And the power-up we're sharing a border with, so are the Eagles, is the redeployed power-up. It swaps places with you and another team. Let's just see where we'll be going for our first spin. That's going right towards it. It's either going to hit the Eagles land or it's going for the redeployed power-up. I mean, by a matter of pixels. Look at this. This is how close it was to the Eagles, but this hits what was used to be owned by the Washington Commanders, so we are swapping places with another team. So I just realized I was calling this piece of land owned by Washington, even though it was definitely Baltimore's. Washington was eliminated 2 episodes ago, but the point still stands. So here's a wheel with the 19 other remaining teams in the series right now. This could make or break the rest of the season to determine if we make the playoffs or not, depending on who we swap places with. So who is it going to be? It's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. Wow, okay. So first things first, remember that counts as an expansion. And now here's a final look at the map before we turn things upside down. We're going to Texas. And this is going to create a game changer for the final stretch of the season. Now previously, we had some pretty tough teams surrounding our borders, but now look. The Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, and Falcons. All 4 of these teams are on the top 8. That's just wonderful. Also, how fitting that the Cowboys were moved right next to the rivals, the Eagles. I'm honestly kind of glad I'm out of this area. It's just way too packed. But yeah, anyways, we haven't even played 1 game yet, so let's get spinning again. I'm excited to play this game because no matter what, it's going to be a new matchup. We haven't played any of these teams yet. I think that's going towards the Chargers' big hunk of a land. Most definitely, there's nowhere else to go, so we're going to visit LA. Well, not really. They're not even LA anymore. But anyways, it's going to be the Steelers versus the Chargers for, I believe, Week 13. And so Week 13 begins. We're going to start out with a big completion to George Pickens for a first down and 10 to the 34-yard line. Following up, we're going to get Najee going too, and this is a good sign for this game because Najee is going to break us into Chargers territory with a huge run. We're putting at the 40-yard line now. It's a good start. 2nd and 7. I think I'm a Lamar Jackson here for whatever reason, so I'm taking off running like it's Madden mobile. I'm going to get hit sticked, but I survive it. Almost stayed in bound. 3rd down in inches, but I turned out the 3rd down and goal, where I dive head first with Najee Harris for the touchdown that put us up 7-0 over the LA Chargers. Picture perfect start to this game. It's 7-0. We're trying to make it 14-0 too. Look at this. Jamar Chase off to the races. I want to showboat here, but I'm just going to take my points instead. Jamar Chase was open by a mile, and he's going to advance us to a 14-0 lead. God, I'm so lucky to have him as my main receiver. Chargers will answer back, but that's no problem because I'm going to do exactly the same. I lied. Kenny Pickett throws a horrible pass. It wasn't even close to my target, and that's pick number 1. I wonder how much I'm going to throw this game. Anyways, play action pass. Oh, once again. Look, another horrible animation. I know I suck at this game. I'm going to say this a lot, but, you know, I just don't know what to say. I think I need to bring out the Subway sandwich meme back just to show how much sense I make. Tie game at 14 now. And of course, the Chargers end up taking the lead, so goodbye to our 14-0 lead. But I'm going to go ahead and get Najee Harris back right before halftime. This is a big gain. It's going to give us some points on the board, hopefully. Let me go ahead and pull out my big book of things I want fixed in Madden 24. Number 1. Whatever the hell that was, because I'm so tired of these damn animations screwing me, man. Like, can I just have a normal play? Could it just be a normal pass breakup, not where the defender just teleports 3 feet in front of him? It just makes no sense. Anyways, now we're down by 10 points going to halftime. This play right here was just 2 big middle fingers up to Madden. I really needed that, and it's first down and 10 in Chargers territory. I got to get back on the board with some points here. 2nd and 9, I almost got another huge touchdown Jamar Chase, but once again, Kenny Pickett kind of screws me out, and there goes his X factor too. That's just wonderful. Now 2nd down 11 from the 13-yard line. I sure enough should get points on the board here. I'm going to take off again. For whatever reason, I tried to slide, but the game did not register it, and now I'm just going to I don't even know what to say, man. Yeah, this game got really ugly, but thankfully I have a saving grace, and that's, you know, Jamar Chase has been doing everything this game. He just bulldozes this dude, breaks a tackle, and this is another 75-yard touchdown for Jamar Chase. Too bad it kind of means nothing, but maybe, just maybe, we have a chance of coming back. That's going to put us at 21 points. Jamar Chase having an unbelievable day. I'm going to go to him again because he's on X Factor. Why not? It's just a cheap. It just works all the time. 30 out of 21. Now I'm going to hand this off to Najee Harris. There we go. Maybe we have a chance. We're only down by 10 points. We need the Chargers to not score. And we're at 2nd down and 20, and okay, we don't have a chance anymore. That's just wonderful. Yeah, I mean, this game ended up 47-28. There was a lot of things out of my control this game, but I also just kind of suck. We already know that. We lose big time. Hopefully, it's not going to do too much to us. And also, look at this Jamar Chase, 345 yards and 2 touchdowns. If this was a real game, that would shatter the record of receiving yards in a single game. 345 is just insane. Off of 10 catches, too. That's wild. Madden has officially driven me insane with our recent loss against the Chargers, but thankfully it doesn't knock us out of the picture too far. Luckily enough, Jamar Chase is not our highest rated player because we might need a couple more 300-yard games out of him. Unfortunately, however, we'll be saying goodbye to Cameron Hayward. Other key departs include Devontae Adams joining Justin Jefferson in LA. Stephon Diggs goes back to the Packers for the 187th time. And Deion Sanders joins the #1 rated Dolphins. All 3 power-ups were used this turn, starting with us hitting the redeploy. Next, the Niners hit their maxed out power-up, which we will figure out what player will be turned into a 99 overall in just a moment. The 3rd power-up, Resurrection, was uncovered by the Lions, meaning they get to bring a player back from an eliminated team or a player affected by the landmine. And if you remember, 99 overall Aaron Donald was exploded in the previous episode, but now he is stitched back together and joining forces in Detroit. Now let's take a look at the standings from week 13. You heard me mention earlier that the Dolphins are the new #1 team. That's correct. I have them at 8-1-1 #1 team. I think that was enough to overtake the teams that are in front of them, even though they have a little bit more losses because they played more games. But the Dolphins at 8-1-1, I think that's impressive enough for the #1 spot. And you can see a bunch of tiebreakers follow up. The Chargers and Panthers at 9-3, and they have a bunch of 8-3 and 8-4 teams. 9 through 16, you can see we're sitting at 12, so that's still pretty comfortable, I would say. Starting with the Broncos at 9, thankfully their expansions are keeping them in it, but we're just under the Bills and Packers at 7-4. Thankfully we have 2 expansions because that makes us at 8-6. Remember, an expansion is basically like a tie, it's half a win, so if you get 2 expansions, it's basically worth 1 full win. And following us is the Falcons, Cowboys, Lions, and Bears, and you can see there's basically no teams left that are under 500 except one. We'll get to them in a second. That's because we're in the top 20. All teams are good, and we can only have 14 teams. The final page with the remaining teams, there's 4 teams. I know it's going to be confusing. I have to say this now. The Raiders are eliminated. Their logo just cannot get any more black and white than that, so that's where they're at. 21 is eliminated. So the Vikings are the final place right now. They are in jeopardy. They're the only team under 500 technically because the Giants and Bengals, remember, an expansion, 2 expansions equals 1 win, so they're basically 5-5. Vikings in this case, the only team under 500. And for a pity reminder for the fans of all these teams, you've been eliminated for several weeks in this series. Well, a crazy week led us to these crazy results, and we actually have to do the maxed out power up before we continue on to week 14. So for the 49ers, I have 8 different contestants that will be maxed out to a 99 overall, one of them at least, and it's from a pretty solid pool of players. I almost forgot they had some of these players, but they won some games, got some good conquest results. So let's just see who is going to be turned to a 99 overall on the Niners. It's going to be Jamal Adams, the safety. So there you have it. A weird selection, but Jamal Adams is now the best player on the San Francisco 49ers. Well, a lot happened in the unlucky week of 13, so now let's move on to 14. Let's see who we play now. It's going to be kind of difficult to get a matchup because a lot of these are going into Mexico, as you can see. All I pray is that it's just not the Chargers. That could hit Atlanta. So this was just a pure coincidence. It's all based where I put the logo from, because remember, the rule of the game is that I have to go from the middle of my logo. It actually ended up going right through New Orleans, which of course is owned by the Atlanta Falcons. So this is an interesting matchup. Didn't think I'd be playing Atlanta, stationed in Pittsburgh, but here we are. We're in Texas now. It's a whole different game. We are going to Atlanta for week number 14. Now to 7-6 record for week 14. I'm going to start with a check down. I have no clue how this wasn't busted, but I ended up getting turned into turf on this one as I'm hit stick to the ground. But it's a first down and 10 from the 37, so not a bad start to this game. Getting Najee Harris involved. Third down and 16. I am kind of lucky to have Patty Free back, because even though I like Mark Andrews, Patty Fryer's been doing a lot of things for me. First down and 10 from the 27 now. I'm going to take off and run. This time I remember to slide. I learned a valuable lesson in life. Slide. First down and 10 from the 16 now, and I'm going to do another check down. I think this is Najee Harris, but nope, it is Jalen Warren, and I just gave him CTE on his first ever play as a Steeler, more than likely, but he got a touchdown, so good for him. Falcons end up tying the game back up, but look at this. I'm getting my receivers back. Deontay Johnson, probably my first time saying his name since, well, 3 seconds ago. And now from the 48-yard line, quickly get involved with my tight end, Patty Freiermuth again. Now we're at the 31-yard line, where we end up going to take a field goal, which is good. This is actually Justin Tucker's first field goal on the Steelers, so good for him. 10-7. Falcons end up scoring a touchdown. I'm trying to throw the ball out of here, but it gets called a fumble. I'm going to call Brady for the tuck rule advice here, but thankfully my offensive line is smart and they actually pick up the football, so it's going to be a 2nd and 28. That's just easily convertible, right? 3rd and 30, I try to run the ball because I already know this is busted. I almost get a safety again. It's 4th down and 34, and you can see I'm basically punting in first person. I mean, look at my foot. It's on the white line. Do not step out of bounds because that would be a safety, and I just barely get this off. Doesn't matter, though, because the Falcons are easily scoring points off of this. I mean, they're going to have the greatest field position ever. They end up getting 3 points off. Luckily, it's not a touchdown because we can come back and tie this game before we go to the locker room. That's a good completion there. First down and 10. I let the time roll down. We're down to 30 seconds left. And I kind of panicked here. I was trying to get out of bounds. I couldn't. It was a stupid decision. So I line up real quick. Only 2 seconds off. And we are at 0 seconds. Here's a buzzer beater to Jamar Chase. We barely got it off, and we're going into halftime tied. Thankfully, it will be 17-17. What a huge play. We also get the ball back again, and it's just looking on our side now. We get another touchdown. We are running that whole entire drive. That's why I cut it out. But it was 24-17 after that. We get the ball back again, so things are going good. And another get a first down, but oh no. No. Najee Harris is injured, man. No, this cannot be happening. This is the one thing that we really never prepared for. We never had an injury. I don't even know if an injury really counts in this, but whatever. Anyways, we'll have Warren back in the game, and ooh, look at him. He's fast. Okay. Well, Najee Harris, you've been replaced. You can stay in the locker room now. This dude is our #1 running back now. 4th down and 7. I'm just going to take the 3 points again, which is not a bad thing. I like to be up by 2 touchdowns, but I'll take a 10-point lead, 27-17. And the Falcons will score a field goal, but obviously I'm going to get to the 2-minute warning with my drive, and all I got to do is just burn their timeouts. But you know what? I was nice today. I don't have to burn any of their timeouts, because look at Najee Harris. He's back as the starter, back from the locker room. I think he faked that injury. We almost got the touchdown, but we were stopped just short. But we ended up winning the game 34-20 after scoring the touchdown Najee Harris there, and we're back on track after a Week 14 victory. Week 14 featured a second-half run game explosion which powered the new Texas Steelers to a 34-20 victory over the Falcons. As much as our defense has been getting obliterated, so has our offensive line, and you know the rules, it would not be an Imperialism video without Quentin Nelson mentioned somewhere. Other movements include Jerry Rice going back to the Niners, which makes the 3rd 99 overall on the team. Aaron Donald goes to the Dolphins, he as well is the 3rd 99 on that team. Charles Woodson goes to the Broncos, yet another 99 overall. And possibly the best move out of all of these hasn't even been mentioned yet. The Cowboys beat the Panthers, and with the double-triple power-up on their side, they stole both 99 overall Myles Garrett and 98 overall, Tyreek Hill. Yeah, the Panthers are going to suck now. Week 14 standings, the Dolphins sit up top with a 9-1-1 record. The Niners climb back up though. They're basically sitting at 10-3 with their 2 expansions makes 10. And those are 2 of the 6 teams right now that have 9 wins in the board, including the Panthers, Chargers, Jets, and Chiefs, all sitting at 9-4 or 9-3. Broncos are still hovering around that, even with 7 wins. Their expansions are carrying them. Bills at 8-4. And on the next page, you have the Packers, Eagles, Rams before you get to us. We didn't even move a spot, but that's okay. We're still sitting in a playoff position right now at 12. And you can see sitting at the 16th spot, the Lions, they are now under 500 on a 5-6-1 record. And onto our third sheet where you can see basically we already know what teams are getting eliminated. The Bears are still in the hunt, but basically the Vikings are 100% out. It kind of sucks for them. But you can see the Giants and Bengals both at 4-6-2. I would be surprised if one of them can claw back up. They need the Bears to start losing. But yeah, we'll just see what happens for week 15. Once again, here's the final sheet, which has all the teams already eliminated. And we can go ahead and updating our map and see where we go for our final week in this episode. So now we're heading into our final week of this episode, week 15. And that means we only have 3 regular season games left until we hit the playoffs. Kind of crazy. And now looking at the map, it's just a bunch of abstract shapes. Let's just see who we match up against. It's going to the left. That could be going to Denver, which is stationed in Arizona now. Oh yeah, that's got it. I don't even need to really draw a line for this one. Definitely going through Denver. So good thing that we ended up playing 3 new matchups this episode. I guess it's a good thing we got redeployed. It ended up in our favor. It also really worked out for the Cowboys too, because look at them. They are stacked. Anyways, we are going to Denver for our final game of this episode. Steelers versus Broncos. Oh, how nice of the Broncos to give us the ball on the 16-yard line. Maybe I'll do something. Never mind, okay. For whatever reason, Patrick Surtain kneeled down on the 1-yard line, meaning the Broncos could not score on that because they had to go 99 yards. But anyways, 2nd down and 2. Hand this off to Najee Harris, and he fumbles the football. So that's just lovely. 2 plays, and we have 2 turnovers already. And the Broncos didn't score points again. I guess Madden's realistic because the Broncos offense is doing absolutely nothing. But Najee Harris, I'm going to get him back involved. Even though he just fumbled the football, he gets a huge completion here, which is going to put us in the 12-yard line, 40 yards almost. I'm going to end up getting 3 points with Justin Tucker. I couldn't capitalize on it, but I'll take a 3-0 lead. That's better than nothing. Once again, the Broncos offense suck, but I get blitzed like crazy. Make it the 2nd fumble. We have 3 turnovers. Thankfully, we picked this one up the offensive line as they're going to go celebrate, even though we only have 3 points and 3 turnovers. And once again, I'm punting in first person from my own end zone. Broncos definitely going to get some points off of this. There's just no way they don't. I don't really understand the Broncos, man. They just really suck. Apparently, they're a top 8 team. I'm going to just get my slide down. Thankfully, I remember to do that. It's a 9-yard pickup. 3-0, have the ball at midfield, and I'm going to do it again. So I'm just apparently Lamar Jackson now. Look at this run by Kenny Pickett. I'll slide down inside the 15-yard line. I better get a touchdown off this, which I do. But my offensive line wants to hold, so that's nice. But anyways, I do it again, and I get a touchdown with Jamar Chase. It's going to be 10-0. Hopefully, I don't choke this game, right? I get the ball back before half. Again, things are looking all in my favor. Look at this throw by Kenny Pickett. I haven't seen an accurate throw like that in forever. 17-0. We are definitely going to win this game. We're going to halftime 17-0. Okay, well, things are going to start getting bad. You'll see. I'll start with Najee Harris with a 1st down run. That's a good thing, right? Well, it's going to get a whole lot worse. Najee Harris is going to get the ball again. And here is fumble number 2 for Najee Harris. They're going to pick it up, and they're going to score a touchdown off this. The very next offensive play, right when I get the ball back, I'm going to throw it to Najee Harris. I have too much trust in him. He's going to fumble the football again. That's his 3rd fumble today in back-to-back fumbles, and it's a scoop and score, so we're going to be tied at 17 apiece. This is just going absolutely wonderful. I really love you, Najee Harris. Thank you for doing this. Oh, and to make matters worse, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 fumbles in a row, or 3 fumbles in a row, but the 4th fumble. I am losing my mind. What is Najee Harris doing? He must have put money in this game. Do you know there's a no gambling policy in the NFL, right? It doesn't matter. We lost this game. I can stop on this tangent now. We lost 38-24 thanks to Najee Harris and fumbling the football. You know, I will gladly admit I just suck at the video game, but 3 scripted Najee fumbles in a row is just completely out of my control. This RNG of a loss cost us the one player I did not want to lose, Jamar Chase. What a run he had as a Steeler. Our final changes of this episode for other teams include Cameron Hayward becoming a Chief, Myles Garrett is an Eagle, and Lane Johnson is a Bill. Time for the final standing check. You can see we have teams in the double-digit wins now. These teams basically already clinched. Matter of fact, this whole page has clinched the playoffs. Starting with the Dolphins, currently sitting at number 1 through week 15. They are 10-1-1, and then followed by the Niners and Chiefs, who also have 10 wins. The Broncos, who just beat us, they are sitting at the 4th spot now. Those 3 expansions put them at a 9.5 and 4 record. Even going to the second tab where the Chargers and Panthers at 9 wins, and this is probably the first time they've been knocked off the first page in a long time. You can see we fell 1 spot, but we are still in a playoff spot, but I would like to get at least 1 more win next episode so we can confirm a clinch. Now I'm about to reveal who was eliminated, but first I want to talk about the Giants because you can see they didn't get eliminated. They're at 16. The reason they did not get eliminated is because the Bills and Jets, the only 2 teams next to them, got matched up, which means when you do not get matched up and you have no one else to play, considering someone else already has to have a game, you get skipped. That happens a lot in this. The Giants got skipped, and it helped them so much, they couldn't even lose because of it. So as a result, you can see the Lions just barely survived at 17, but the 3 teams eliminated were the Bears, Bengals, and Vikings. Bears did pretty good this series, but just had a few games dropped in a row here in this episode. Put them at a 6-8 record. Bengals got kind of unlucky this series with that redeploy, put them at a 4-7-2, and the Vikings don't know what happened, but they ended in a 4-8-3 record. And then I'm just obligated to show this every single time I do a standing update. It's 25th to 32nd. The worst teams eliminated already. Well, here's the updated map with 3 new white territories. The Vikings, Bears, and Bengals are no longer a thing on this map, and we're down to 17 teams, which means only 3 more teams will be eliminated after 2 games next episode. So next week when I get back on track for episode 6, I'm going to play 2 regular season games, and then we're just going to have a bye, which would be like week 18 for us. What's going to happen is we'll have the playoffs starting. Every team will stay in their positions, but it's going to work a little bit differently. You'll see how it goes when we get there. We have 3 more teams to eliminate, but that will be done next week. You'll have to wait another week. God forbid I don't wait another 20 days to do it. But anyways, thank you guys for watching episode 5 of the NFL Imperialism franchise. Be back for episode 6 soon, and I'll see you guys later.